All right, welcome back to quarter two, weeks 3 and 4. This week we are actually going to be doing another free project. So, since we're going to be doing another free project, that means you get to see what the class of 2015-2016 did for their free project. So, let's take a look. So once again, we're looking to make sure that we are being successful. Okay, that's the key element here. You need to find something that you believe that you can make and be successful at. Now, a lot of these turned out really great, and I'm very, very happy with them. You can see that there's been a lot of detail. Now, this is actually very similar to the last project you worked on, the last free project. You'll have to go out, you have to get some of your own concept art, and you'll have to actually build your object from scratch. Now, with that in mind, the big difference here is now that we understand how to create a normal map, your job will be to incorporate a normal map on your object. Okay, so everybody's product will have to have a normal map. Now, once again, normal maps can be really useful for certain things, like subtle bumps and, like the texture of the skin, things of that nature. However, you have to be careful because when you do incorporate a normal map, you will automatically incorporate a seam if you overlap your geometry. Okay, now we'll see some of these objects will actually have a pretty obvious seam where their normal map has been implemented. Others won't, right? This is a great example of a well implemented normal map with just enough shine. She obviously did not make every single one of these little bumps out of real geometry. This is a normal map, and it's most useful because she's got this nice sort of like bumpy texture with a very cheap overhead. This thing was not thousands or millions of polys. Alright, so once again, the normal map is going to give you those nice subtle shadows that you're looking for in the object. But once again, this is the same sort of thing. That sort of edge is where Archer overlapped both sides of the penguin's belly, so she's going to get a hard edge here. So if you're going to use normal maps and you plan on overlapping two pieces of geometry, you got to realize that the normal map will be inverted on half of it. Okay, now once again, that's not a bad thing as long as you're prepared for it. In this case, it's obvious, right? And with this class, when they actually took this, when we started this, I had neglected to mention that, which turns out to be really helpful for you because now you guys can see what happens if you don't. Here's one example where Adri, she actually did not create all of these bumps that you see here. All of these bumps were created via normal map. The texture of the face, this actual crease through here, all of this, a majority of that was actually created through the normal map. So let's go ahead and look at the top 10. Top 10 starting right now. We've got number 10, Clavijo with her cow. Fantastic looking cow. Kind of rough on the seams. You can actually see where the seams are actually meeting each other. Once again, that's partly because of the normal map, which once again we didn't talk about extensively beforehand. This is Alvarez, her table. Not the most complicated object, however, it's very well done, and she got it done on time. It's very efficient. There's not any sort of wasted loops, and she decided she wanted to make sure she was going to shoot for something that she could get done on time at a quality level that she knew she could execute on. So keeping that idea of scope, very important. Next is Munoz. She also, once again, sort of a simpler model, really excellent use of the normal map on there, and you can see from this in multiple angles it's almost impossible to see the seam on where this object is, and she just did a really good job of making sure the seam blended through the object. Miss Vega, once again, we already talked about how this normal map in particular, there's no seam, no obvious seams. The the normal map is used extremely efficiently to give these little bumps that she didn't actually have to model, and it turned out great. Once again, perfect use of normal map. I really like the specularity on the bunny, so it looks almost like rubbery, but you can still see all of the little bumps in here. Fantastic work. The same model, or the same concept art, also gave us this little bunny. Once again, a different take on it, slightly more stretched, this one was, but still a really neat object. Alright, this is Mr. Christian. Creating a full biped character from scratch when you've only been modeling for 3 months is a little bit crazy, but he did it, and he put a great little normal map for the sun on here. Took a lot of work, but he executed on it. It looks good. Mr. Scarborough's got his ukulele. I really like all of the detail he put into the tuning pegs and how the strings look. All in all, I thought that turned out really nice. Mr. Sauer had some sort of Enterprise type ship here. Very well executed. You can't really see the detail of the normal map very well. It just didn't come out on the picture, but it's definitely there. And finally, first place, Mrs. Gillette with her axe. Once again, you can see the normal map really pops out on the leather handle, and you can actually sort of see it in the wooden part of the handle there. The smoothing groups on the axe are also extremely well done, so everything just works just about perfectly. So that's our top 10 projects. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do. Once again, be careful when you're using the normal map. Don't overlap your faces. You can, just know that where those two faces touch, you will have a very hard edge, and on half of it, the normal will go in versus coming out. Alright, so your black will be white, your white will be black. So keep that in mind. Good luck. You have 2 weeks to work on this, so all of week 3 and week 4, make sure you figure out what you want to actually make and make sure that you're going to be able to create it effectively. Alright, once again, thanks a lot, and I will see you next time.